Alright, we're recording.
Okay.
So, well, I guess, like, how have you been?
I've been good. Some days are rougher than others.
Yeah, you got any plans for the summer?
I plan on trying to hang out with everybody I can before I leave. Everybody's going to college, so I won't be the only one gone, but it's kind of like a last hurrah.
Is it kind of like the end of an era for, like, the cross guys?
Yeah, it really is. It's so sad. I'm glad that I made a mistake because now I kind of extended that, but June 4th, it's all coming to an end. It's gonna be really sad. It's gonna be hard.
Are you excited for college or like moving on?
I am. Yeah, I really want to get out of my house.
Yeah.
But I will miss my family. It's gonna be hard.
It's understandable. Got any other plans like beyond like the summer? Like
I'm going to visit my college a little bit. Open houses are gonna be like every weekend, so hopefully gonna have some fun. I have a job. Like I'm gonna be working. Basically, I'm going to do whatever I possibly can to have fun. I'm not gonna sit inside
yeah.
at all.
Alright, so how did you meet him?
I met him my freshman year. I didn't know who he was. He barely spoke to me, and I was awkward, and I didn't speak to him or anybody else. I only had a few select friends.
Yeah, he would never really talk.
Oh no, you had to go up to him.
Yeah. How long had you known him for?
I've known him since freshman year, so 4 years.
Since freshman year?
Mhm.
What would you describe like your relationship with him as?
Slow but steady.
Yeah.
Once I actually opened up a little bit, I really got to see everybody for who they were, and I got to get involved, and I got to actually become friends with him.
Yeah. So you consider yourself like a friend?
I do.
Teammate?
Yeah, teammate, friend. Yeah.
How close would you consider yourself to him?
I would say I got closer to him as the years progressed, but not as close as some others.
Was your guys' relationship like level of closeness? Was it like consistent throughout? Did you have rough patches, anything like that?
We weren't really friends until the beginning of junior year. I really got to know him over the course of working with him at Dairy Queen and just hearing about what he was doing and everything. I actually got to train him, and I got pretty close with him that way. There's a lot of fun stories with him at Dairy Queen.
Yeah, he was off the wall at DQ.
Yeah, he was.
You wanna tell any of them?
One of the first shifts I worked with him, he was just kind of just chilling in the back with me and the girls, and he wanted a drink, and there was nobody up front. And they were there's no orders, so there was no customers, so he's allowed to go. And they just mopped the floor, and he slipped, and he fell, and he did those little like shriek thing,
Yeah.
and he flopped like a fish. Like I didn't know what was going on, so I ran up there, and everybody was just kind of watching him. Nobody could help him because he's just like rolling around and jumping, and then he finally like gripped the countertop, pulled himself up, and he never went back up front again. So I had to give him a drink.
Are there any other ones?
The first day, one of our coworkers, it was his first day, and he didn't introduce himself, he didn't say anything, he said, "Who the F are you?" And that was it. That was, I don't know. He just didn't care.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Do you have like a favorite memory in particular with him?
Cross during COVID, when we were on our own, we were training, but we were sophomores becoming juniors, so we weren't really mature, and he was the only one that told us that we were going to fall behind, and he would constantly get on us about doing core after runs, and nobody wanted to do it, and he laid down at Butterfly Park at freshly cut grass, and he just started doing it, so I joined him, and he yelled at everybody else besides me, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's interesting because like I've talked to a lot of people about that, like his like whole cross career, and I heard like COVID season, like he was dialed in, like that was his thing, and then like that whole incident kind of happened, and he like just gave up entirely, and then he
Yeah.
like switched gears to
Wrestling
Yeah.
or boxing.
yeah.
He was really adamant about just getting the runs in and going after it and doing everything. He was the most serious one out of all of us, and we were just trying to have fun and enjoy the time because we didn't know what was going to happen. And that's how his hatred for Pokemon Go developed. And he grew to love it, but that's how he began. That's how Pokemon Go started for him. He was right. We ended up suffering a ton. We didn't make it to state for cross, and it was really hard. And I don't think anybody really remembered him telling us about it. A few of us, we talked about it, and we were like, he was right. He called it, and we were like, we should have listened to him.
Yeah, I remember he was the one who put me on to Pokemon Go. It was like, because I sat with him at lunch junior year, and he was like, dude, you gotta play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And he was like terrible at it, but
Yeah, I didn't know he started playing until he showed me at Dairy, or he didn't show me. I was walking past him, he was on his phone, and he was playing Pokemon Go, and I don't know, I asked him about it, and he was like, I wasn't playing it, like he just denied everything. I don't know, he had to keep his image up of hating it.
yeah. So cross didn't make it to state junior year.
It did not.
And
Senior year though.
You got it in senior year. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Did he teach you anything important or like significant?
He taught me that you can say you're fine, but you're not, and it's really about paying attention to who they are, no matter how well you know them. And he taught me that no matter what, you gotta keep going. And he was a little more strict about the fun, but I now have a sense of what's too much now because of him. And I know when too much fun is, or when there's a lot of fun, when it's too much, and when it's just right.
Yeah.
He taught me that.
What stood out to you the most about him?
I don't know. I always learned something new every time I talked to him, or every time I was with him. Like his cat.
Yeah.
He had a garden in his backyard that somebody took a pepper and ate it, and it was really hot. I don't know. It took me a while to figure out that he had a sister, and he never talked about her. I didn't know how big his family was. I don't know. There's always something, man. There's always something, and it just amazed me how. I just knew that he was a good runner, and I knew that he was in my grade, and then I kept discovering new things every time I had an interaction with him.
Yeah. He was very like trivial. I feel like
Yeah.
there's just like you get these really like odd spurts of information about him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He had me help him like confuse the entire cross team. He told us that he had cancer in his eye. He had pink eye or something, and his eye was really swollen. And he sent a picture, and then he texted me on the side. He's like, keep it going. And so a bunch of people were like sending him a bunch of stuff about it, and then he told them all, and everybody was like just shocked. It was, I don't know, it was kind of cool that he asked me to help him, because I knew he wasn't sick. At first I thought he was, and then he told me, and so I guess I didn't know until after he told me.
Yeah. So, like right now, these are the more like sensitive questions.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time you saw him alive?
I believe I saw him after Dairy Queen. It was like you guys were hanging out or something, and we just like we're I don't know, I was hanging out with somebody and we kind of just met up, and it was either that or maybe it was Dairy Queen. It's hard to remember now.
Do you have like a particular time, like the most recognizable time was like the last time you saw him alive, or?
It was probably mid-July, early July, I think. He was planning on going to the cross camp with us, and he said he wasn't able to.
How was seeing him?
I don't know, I didn't, nothing really was standing out to me. I kind of was like, what's up? How you doing? I don't know. I should have. I don't know.
So nothing really stood out.
No.
It's kind of just like a normal
Yeah.
interaction. Are you glad you had that time?
Yeah, I did. I'm glad I was able to see him. I do remember. I talked to him before, like after seeing him. So I talked to him before he died. He was asking us to play Minecraft, and he made a group chat, and some other people were hesitant to start it because we were waiting for a Minecraft update, and he wanted to start it right away, and we delayed it. He ended up starting it and inviting me to it, and it didn't really catch traction. And I was one of the only people that played. I played for maybe a week, and he kind of stopped playing. I felt bad because he's paying for it, so I left it, and I shouldn't have left it, I feel like.
Yeah. When was the when did you find out about his passing?
I was actually on the phone with somebody the night of, and Jacob Rotan, was it? Okay, yeah. He texted me and he asked me if I was okay, and my gut feeling knew something was wrong, and I thought like maybe there was an accident or a crash or something, and somebody was injured and they thought I was with them, or they didn't know, and I said, yeah, I'm okay, what's going on? And it was late, so he fell asleep right after he texted me, and I woke up that next morning with a text message saying he was gone.
That was that would have been the 9th?
August, yeah, that was the day before my birthday.
Were you shocked at all?
I couldn't really believe it. It kind of wasn't real. I walked upstairs and my mom had already figured it out. It was like wildfire. Everybody knew. And she was crying and telling me that she was sorry that I had to go through it, and it was just making it real slowly. It was really hard to go upstairs and have my mom crying. It was hard.
Yeah. Looking back, did you see any warning signs?
Yeah. I remember thinking, because I try to look out for that stuff because like everybody else, like everybody has their moments. I've struggled with depression myself, and so I try to make sure I'm always asking everybody if they're okay. And I've done that before. I've texted people randomly, and they were perfectly fine. I remember hearing that like he quit Cross, and I would always like try to get him to come back. And like at Dairy Queen, he was always on the fence about it, and I would always like, oh, like you should do that. And then he told me about the MMA, and I thought, okay, maybe this was his opportunity to start something he really wanted to, like he was on the fence about. And I heard he quit, and like he quit Dairy Queen, and right before he quit Dairy Queen, I think it was right before Dairy Queen, I heard he quit the boxing and he was onto something else, and I thought maybe, it was never confirmed that he was moving on to anything else. I can't remember what it was. It was either wrestling or I don't know. I remember thinking that's kind of odd. I don't know. Maybe I should text him, but then somebody told me he was. I was on the. I didn't know if he actually quit or not, and I told myself that like I didn't know if he quit. So like in the past I was wrong about these things, and so I decided not to text him because I thought he was okay and still doing it because I didn't want to weird him out because he doesn't like weird people. But I really regret not texting him because I had the thought, and I feel like if I would have said something, he could be here.
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations about that. It's like that survivor's guilt. Like you realize like what happened, and really like nothing could have been done to like stop it.
Because he was already decided.
But yeah, it's like you want to like it really doesn't make sense like him passing. So you want it to make sense so bad. So you think like I struggle with this too. I get these like thoughts in my head that's like, oh, maybe like that night, like July 28th, like when we were in the car, maybe if I would have just pushed him a little harder, he would have opened up, or like maybe like if I would have
done something.
Yeah.
He would have be gone. Yeah.
Have you ever struggled with your mental health?
Yeah, I have. I was on the fence. Middle school was really hard for me. I was on the fence. I never really thought I could do something like that, like kill myself or anything like that. And I always thought that the world would be better without me. I am my family, but that's part of being a family. It took me a while to realize that, and I'm not alone. I can talk to people. Cross country really saved me. I only joined because Jacob told me I'd be good at it. So I thought I'd join this, hopefully make some friends, and I didn't really make any friends. I made a few, like a handful, and then between freshman and junior year. Junior year is when I opened up, but I wouldn't be here without those guys. I wouldn't have been a guy on the cross team. I would have been, if I would have never joined, I would have been someone just in the halls that you knew, like you know of. You don't know who they are or what they do. I feel like if I wouldn't have joined, I wouldn't be here.
Sounds like from people I've talked to, it sounds like a great group of people. Like it's like a support circle for everybody.
Yeah, it really is. I actually started therapy to get some help. They said it like a coping mechanism, exercising and feeling good and doing it with other people. I actually had a really bad, I wouldn't say breakdown, but a low. I lost not my ability to run, but I suffered some like medical issues, and it took me down hard. I was top 7 and I couldn't run anymore. I could barely get under 18 minutes when I was about to break 17. It was really hard, and then on top of that I found out my brother had been lying to me, and I had been standing up for him and telling people that they were wrong about him, and then I found out he was lying to me, and I looked stupid. I looked like a mean person because I was standing up for my brother when they knew the truth and I didn't. And like I had been fighting with my brother for years, and that hurt. And then found out that other people that I was close to knew and they didn't tell me. And it kind of spiraled. I think the closest I've ever been to ending it at that point. That was November.
You said you started therapy?
I did, yeah. After that, I reached out and I started talking to a guidance counselor at the career center. She told me that I needed to do it, and I've been going like every other week now, and that helps a lot. It shows me my subconscious, it shows me what I'm thinking of. I kind of just start somewhere and I keep going, and you don't realize how much really bothers you until you let it out.
Yeah. Would you, anybody struggling with their mental health, would you recommend therapy?
Yeah, I know therapy, it was really hard for me because I didn't want to show people that I had struggled. I didn't want to tell people that I was hurting, because people know me as the person who's always smiling or always happy. There's nothing wrong with being always happy, but it wasn't genuine most of the time. It's kind of putting a mask on. You're not really who you are if you're struggling. You need to really let it out, and it has helped me. It might not help other people, but I've told other people I'm here to talk. I'm here if you need something. But yeah, I really recommend it. It's helped me a lot.
Yeah. So, from what it sounds like, you've been like fighting this battle with mental health like since middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Did his passing impact it at all? Did you feel like more comfortable? Did your mental health get worse? Like,
I realized how fragile I was, I guess. I thought that could have been me. Like a couple years ago, I could have been the one laying in the casket room, everybody around me crying. It showed me that I didn't know that he had such a big family. I didn't know he had such a big community behind him. But at his funeral, it showed me that you don't realize how many people are actually there for you.
yeah, I understand what you mean. We got some time if you want. Like, I just have extra questions and then
Yeah. That's good.
go to the last one. Like a lot of things, like when I talk to people about, I feel like it's always like music, and like everyone has their own like little connection with it through music. Did you guys ever bond over music?
Yeah, but not in a traditional way. We would crap talk everybody else's music taste in the locker room. Some rap song we would kind of tell the words or hear the words to, or didn't really have a meaning to it, like a party song. We would just kind of be like, oh, what's this? And he would do his little squeal thing, and like for his disapproval, I guess.
Yeah, that's why his playlist is so weird to me, because like I just remember how critical he was of like other people's music, and like he had this like, I feel like he was like, his music taste was very important to him. Like he like kind of almost viewed like people's like worth like off of what music they listened to.
Yeah.
And I feel like a bit of him was like self-conscious about his music taste. So like just to suddenly get this playlist where it's like very like intimate music, and like you're just like, it felt like I was seeing like so much of him, and it was like bittersweet because it had gone with his passing.
Yeah.
Is there any like song, like band, or like music in particular that makes you think of him?
Not particularly. I don't really listen to the same music he did. I don't know. The only time I was around him when there was music was in the mornings, and there was locker rooms and there was songs I didn't know, and we both didn't like.
Did you ever listen to his playlist?
I have not. I don't really listen to Spotify. I don't really know how to work it.
Yeah.
So if I ever like figure it out, I need somebody to show me. But I've actually started working on my own. I have like 6 or 7 different playlists. I don't know. It's not really directly related. I just kind of started working on my own to figure out what I like, because I kind of just had songs that my parents had, and that some occasional song in the locker room that I liked, and trying to figure out who I like, what I like, and not going off of other people's their preferences.
Yeah. And it's just our last question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could say one thing to him right now, what would it be?
and ask him how he's doing.
Yeah. And then, you good wrapping it up, or is there anything else you want to say?
Since I guess I'm the first one, anybody who's on the fence about doing an interview, I think it's a good idea. Show your connections with